Hi guys, and welcome to TopTierGamers.com. This is Gabe, and today we're gonna just do a couple two-mans with Atarka Red. It's a deck that's kind of like Red-Green Landfall, but a little different in the sense that instead of the landfall creatures, you have Dragon Fodder and Hordling Outburst to kind of make your Atarka's commands a little better. So this deck is a little better against the spell removal that some decks are playing, and a little worse against the Wrath aspects that people are playing. But they play a lot of the same cards. You got the aggressive one drops in Zergo, Swiftspear. You also have Lightning Berserker, which is a good fireball effect. You also get to play a little bit of removal in the main deck. You get the Fiery Impulses and the Wild Slash, where the Landfall deck is pretty much removal. There's no removal in the main board. It's usually just all on the sideboard. So you get to have a little bit of game with removing things and getting through your early guys. You still have the Abbots. You still have the combo here, but they cut it down in this version from 4 and 4 to 3 and 3. It's not quite as much about that as it is just about the interaction between multiple guys and Atarka's command. So it plays out a little differently, and then the fact that you don't have Dem Protector means that you're not really ever looking to get up to like 5 or 6 lands. So instead of playing 24 lands and the landfall creatures, you can play 21 lands, more so like a traditional aggro deck. Over here in the sideboard, we have 4 Rending Volley, the extra Fiery Impulse. You got 4 Roasts because Siege Rhino and Tassiger are cards. You got some Act of Treason. You got 2 Chandras for control-y, grindy matchups where you want a Planeswalker. You have an extra Hordling Outburst when you want that, and then you just have 1 more Outpost Siege when you kind of want to just start grinding your opponents out. So that's the deck, and we're going to go and hop into a 2-man and see how things go. Alright, so our opponent wins the die roll. It's not great for us. This hand's pretty bad. We just got our 1 of Forest, so we're going to have to mulligan this. This hand is also pretty anemic, but we have lands and spells. We're going to get to scry, and we're going to get to draw it. So I think we reluctantly keep here. This Wooded Foothills is immediately going to the bottom. We could have mulliganed to 5 here, but I just don't know if you can win on 5 with this deck. I mean, it's possible, but there's a lot less resilience with the Atarka version than there is with the Landfall version, just because you don't have the recursion with the Dem Protectors, and you don't have the bigger creatures. It's more so predicated on a lot of little things working together. So when you mulligan to like 5, it really hurts your chances of winning the game. The Swiftspear was a good draw. Our opponent starts out with Shambling Vents into Polluted Delta. This could be Abzan or this could be Esper. It looks like Esper. This could be a Shambling Vents or a Jace here. It ends up being a Jace. Here, we're going to play a Bloodstained Mire, fetch out a Mountain, and then play our Dragon Fodder. This is one of the things that this deck does a little better than the Landfall deck as well. The Dragon Fodder and the Hordling Outburst are your creature spells, but they also fill up your graveyard, so your Become Immenses come online a little bit quicker than the other versions of the deck do. We'll see what they do here. Monastery Mentor. Okay, well it's a pretty powerful spell, for sure. So here, I think I'm going to attack. And then here, we're going to fetch. Get our forest. Oh, that was actually a misplay. I should have grabbed the Cinder Glade just for the Lightning Berserker so that we can get in more damage with that. Then we're going to deal 3 damage to our opponent and give our creatures 1/1. Just going to draw and discard with his chase. I'm not going to play the Lightning Berserker end of turn here. I'd rather that my opponent just doesn't know about it. He discards Dragonlord Ojutai. So this is Esper Dragons playing Monastery Mentor. Alright, Ruinous Path. So here this forest is kind of punishing us a little bit. It seems like it's not a big deal, but this deck really needs to just force through as much damage as you can, as fast as you can, and the fact that I misplayed by getting that forest there is actually going to probably end up hurting us more than it seems. So opponent fetches here and gets a Prairie Stream. So we'll see what happens. Probably just going to slam a Dragonlord here. Oh, Gideon's also good. Gideon. Alright, so we're going to play this Abbot. See what we hit. Atarka's command is very good. So here we actually can just win the game. So I'm gonna. He might have Murderous Cut. That would be the only way that we don't end up winning here. But I think we have to go for it. So we're gonna fetch out a mountain. I'm gonna dash this Lightning Berserker, and then we're gonna Skullcrack. Or we're gonna deal him 3 damage and then give our creatures 1/1. So we'll be able to kill our Lightning Berserker, but this Goblin should theoretically get through for 2 damage, assuming that he doesn't have a Murderous Cut here. Make sure they're both attacking him. Okay. And this ends up working. Great. Okay, so let's go to sideboard. So here, against Esper Dragons, Rending Volley seems real good. So we're going to bring these in. This deck, I believe, plays Virulent Plague. So these tokens probably aren't as good. First, we're going to bring the cards in that we want, and then we'll see about what we're going to do after that. So I think we're going to do this. I'm not real familiar with this deck, and it might be the case that we don't want to cut so many creatures, and we just have to deal with the Virulent Plague. But it being on the draw here, I think that this might be okay. We're going to get to draw an extra card. We got a lot of removal for his early guys. He had Mentor and stuff, so I want to bring in the extra impulses. The Rending Volleys are going to be able to give us something to deal with Dragonlord. We have the extra card advantage here. We got the Planeswalkers here. We have the combo in still, so we'll be able to maybe kill him out of nowhere. We can Skull Crack something like a Foul Tongue Invocation, or if he has like Soulfire or something like that. I mean, he's playing Esper, so I kind of doubt it, but anything's possible. Maybe he has like some sort of like burn spells or like Tribal Flames in the sideboard. Here we drew the Forest again, which is pretty disgusting, but I think we're going to keep this. We're going to be able to fetch out a Cinderglade with this Windswept, and then start deploying threats on the second turn. The Wooded was a good draw, so instead we're going to be able to play the Zergo on time. So we'll play Zergo and pass, and then hopefully our opponent will play like a Jace or something, and be able to impulse that, and then I'll just get like a Cinderglade so we can play the Chandra on time as well. Alright, Irration Cleric. So I can trade off for this Irration Cleric here, but I think what I'm going to do here is play this Mountain and just pass. This Irration Cleric's going to hold up some damage here, but I think that we just want to wait. I don't really want to waste a spell on this Irration Cleric just for him to be able to deal with it next turn. And Seeker of the Way is fine, so I think I will use a spell on that. Seeker of the Way is more scary to me than Irration Cleric. We're going to use the Fiery Impulse just because the Rending Volley can do with the Shambling Vents without Spell Mastery. So here the Chandra's probably going to die, but not playing it seems poor, so we'll just play it here. Hopefully it'll stick around, and if it does, we'll be able to flip it next turn. Right, so we had the Ruinous Path, so even if we would have flipped it over, it's just going to deal 2, and then it's going to get killed by this Ruinous Path anyways, even in its Planeswalker form. So here I think we just attack. If he blocks, I'm just going to use a Titan Strength. I want to keep this Rending Volley around because next turn he could play an Ojutai. You could also just like turn a Shambling Vents into something. So he doesn't even end up blocking, which I don't know why you would want to keep your Irration Cleric, like why you would value that. But it's what he ended up doing, so it's his own choice. So our opponent plays Monastery Mentor here. I think that deserves the Rending Valley. He might have to spell to get a Prowess Monk out of this, and he does not. We're just going to attack again. Like I said, this is we're flooding out quite a bit here. And again, he doesn't block. I'm very confused by why he wouldn't just block here, but it's whatever. Alright, so he plays another Mentor. And he plays a Duress. In response here, I'm going to put this on the stack. I think I need to keep this just because I need to kill that mentor. This game isn't turning out great for us. We've flooded pretty hard here. We'll see what happens. First things first, I'm going to attack with the Zergo. Our opponent just doesn't block. So somehow this Zergo just keeps getting through for damage. Even when our opponent knows he could just block with this Ration Cleric, he just refuses to, which is a little strange. This is a treasure cruise. Yep. Okay. Cracks his fetch land. And another Monastery Mentor. So our opponent definitely has a lot of Monastery Mentors. Cinderblade. And a mountain. Alright, I'm just going to concede this game. We've drawn far too many lands for this to even be competitive anymore. Here, I didn't see anything, and with our opponent having so many mentors, he may not be playing Virulent Plague. But if I bring the if I bring the goblins back in, I want the Atarka's command. So maybe our plan is to just that seems so bad. I think I'm just gonna take out the combo pieces. And yeah, I think we're gonna do this. No, that's fine. We'll keep in. We'll keep in one, become immense, and we'll bring in the extra Hordeling Outburst and the Dragon Fodder. So now we'll have the extra Hordeling Outburst. We'll just have the one become immense. We don't have any pump spells, so we can't rely on that. We'll have removal. We're just hoping to go wide and use Atarka's command. So we'll see if this is the game plan you're supposed to enact. I'm pretty sure you're supposed to have this Outpost Siege, and I'm fairly certain you're supposed to have these Chandras in against the control decks. But as I said, I'm not super familiar with this build. I typically play the landfall version, so I'm not exactly sure, but we'll give it a shot. We'll definitely be on the play. And I think that you have to keep a certain number of one-landers, and this one looks very good, so I'm going to end up keeping it. See what our opponent does here, probably just a Shambling Vents or something. Yep. Okay, well we didn't hit the land. It's not the end of the world. Alright, so our opponent casts Chase. I think we're going to use the Wild Slash here, just because Actually, no, we're gonna use the Fiery Impulse. We use one Impulse, and then our Wild Slash can kill like a Mentor still, and this Impulse can be used to kill like another Mentor with Spell Mastery or something that time. But if we need to go to the face, I'd rather have the Wild Slash than like the double Impulse there. Alright, still didn't hit a land. And like this was something that I was aware could happen, but we have removal spells for his early plays. And once we do hit the lands, I mean, these aren't going to be... I mean, it'd be better to have them in play now, but they're not going to be like terrible once we get to that point. He's not going to be able to Ojedize Command or Dragon Fodder or Hordeling Outburst. So here we're going to try and Wild Slash. He might have the Dispel. He kept up the island here, so I feel like that might have been the reason. I could have used the Rending Volley if I was that worried about it, but I want to save this Rending Volley in case we don't draw a land for a while and he ends up dropping like an Ojutai, just so that we don't just straight lose to that. And he does end up using the Dispel, as you can see down here. It's taking a little bit to load up on the screen, but... So this game's not turning out super great, but it's definitely still winnable. Whenever the... So he does end up using the Dispel here. Not the end of the world. We still have the other removal spells. I think if I don't draw a land, I'm going to use the Fiery Impulse. I drew the Forest. Well, here I think I'm going to try and trade this Zergo away for the Seeker of the Way. He doesn't want to trade. So I think I'll use this Fiery Impulse, just because I want to get the Seeker off the table. Duress is okay. He's probably going to take our Rending Volley so that he can play a Mentor here. I don't know why you would do him in that order because I can't kill it with a Forest. So maybe that's not the play. But we'll see. We'll see. He ends up taking Hordeling Outburst, which is strange. I can't even play it. But I guess it's the scariest card in his opinion. And I ended up drawing the Mountain. So I think here we'll attack. Alright, he's going to use Surge of Righteousness on our Zergo. So he's going to go up to 14. I think I'm going to play the Abbot, just see if I hit something. It might have been correct to... cut here. Alright, so he has Surge of Righteousness, that's fine. He's going to go to 14. I think I'm going to play... I could play the Abbot, but I feel like it's probably just going to be better next turn. So I'm just going to play the Dragon Fodder and then play the Mountain. Abbot would have been a fine play, but Abbot only gets better the longer you wait, and I just want to make sure that I'm able to do almost anything I hit with it. Alright, so here, if he tries to block with the Shambling Vents, I'm just going to use the Rending Volley. Cut here. Okay, so yeah, he just activates the Shambling Vent, and like I said, we're just going to use this Rending Volley. So it's 1 mana Stone Rain, also taps him out for the turn. I think just because that is what ended up happening. We're just going to play this Abbot. If we exile something, so be it. I'd rather just get the body and play more than anything else at this point. End up hitting our Outpost Siege. It's a little disheartening, seeing as it's our only one, but we couldn't have cast it anyway, so I'm not too torn up about it. We hit our Become Immense. Here, I don't think I use it yet. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to play my Hordling Outburst, put some guys into play, hopefully, and then see what he does. This feels like it could be an Ochidi's command to get back like a Seeker of the way. Alright, he's just going to Surge. That's okay. That's another difference between this deck and the Landfall deck. The Landfall deck's a little better against the Surge of Righteousness because you have the green Landfall creatures. This version of the deck has no green creatures, so Surge is it's going to hit 100% of your targets. Monastery Mentor, okay. Rip the Impulse off the top like a boss. No cards in hand. Can't activate Shambling Vents. F6. GG. Alright, so we're here for round 2. See what our opponent is on. We lost the die roll, so we'll see if they want to go first or not. Can't imagine they won't. Cut here. Alright, so this is our opening 7. Our opponent chooses to keep, and I think we will too. This hand looks fine. So we're probably just looking at a turn 1 Lightning Berserker, followed by a Dragon Fodder, and then just holding this other Berserker until he makes us do otherwise. This may be a Duress here. Just an untap play, Sunken Hollow. So we're probably playing against another Esper deck. Cut here. Alright, so our opponent plays Tormenting Voice. So this is going to be an interesting match. I don't know if I've ever played against this. This might be the Turbo Turns deck, but I'm not exactly sure. This could also be like Sphinx's Tutelage deck. I know that was around for a while, and it ran these cards. But regardless, it's something I haven't seen in a while, so we'll see what happens here. So we're just going to attack for 1 with our Lightning Berserker and then put the Dragon Fodder tokens into play. Alright, our opponent plays a Jace. This next turn I think we're going to play a land, Wild Slash the Jace, and pump our Lightning Berserker twice. The only way that playing the other Lightning Berserker gets in more damage is if I play it without dashing it. And I don't think we're really in the business of just putting it into play. This could be like the way that we have to win the game if he like has a flames or something to wrath our board. We're gonna want the haste, so we're just gonna hold on to that. Alright, Shivan Reef. He's gonna impulse our Lightning Berserker. I think that's okay. And he's gonna play another Jace. So I don't know what happened there. It looks like Moto thought that when I pressed end my turn on his turn, I meant skip through my phases on my turn. Probably would have played this Lightning Berserker there, but can't go back and change that. You got it, man. Can't do anything about that. So we're going to play the Wooded here. I'm probably going to get a Cinder Glade at the end of turn, just so that we have the option to become immense if we want to. Yep, so this does look like it's the Sphinx's tutelage deck. Alright, so Jace ends up upticking on one of our Goblin tokens. Plays a Skyline Cascade on another one. So we're going to get that Cinder Glade. And we draw Atarka's Command. So can we win here? I'm fairly certain we can. So we're going to dash this guy in. Deal 3 damage to each opponent. Give our guys 1/1. No, we would not like to redirect. Become immense. Bump my guy. Attack with all creatures at you. And good game. Alright, so we'll go to sideboarding. So for this matchup, I feel like we're pretty heavily favored. He's going to bring in some rat spells and whatnot, but I don't feel like that's necessarily terrible for us. I feel like we don't need quite so much removal. I'm going to take out the Fiery Impulses. I'm going to bring in this other Hordeling Outburst, and I'm going to bring in Chandra. And I feel like the other Chandra is probably pretty good here. I could bring in, there's lots of removal spells here that are good against Jace, but I feel like we should most likely just ignore Jace and just try to be as aggressive as possible. He's playing a combo deck, so him upticking his Jace and plussing on a Hordeling Outburst token doesn't necessarily scare me. Cut here. Alright, so this is our opening 7. This isn't great. We got triple Atarka's Command, which is a lot of burn. But I don't think I can keep this. It doesn't really... I mean, we're going to play Swift Spear, and then we need to draw green just so that we can play 3 of our spells. So we're going to mulligan. This hand is much better. So we're going to keep this. We'll go turn 1 Zergo, probably into Abbott on the second turn. We got a smaller combo right here. Be able to punch through a bunch of damage. So our opponent is deciding if they want to go to 5. They end up keeping 6. We're going to keep 6 as well. He puts his card on the bottom, and I think I will too. Alright, so he starts the game at 21. Wonder if he brought that in. Sick tech, brah. So first thing we're going to do here is just going to attack with our Zergo. He just takes 2. We're going to play our Abbot. Foothills enters the exile zone. That's okay. So yeah, if he ends up flamesing here, I'm okay with that. Looks like a tutelage. That's also okay. Here, I think I'm just gonna try and punch through a bunch of damage. Put that on the bottom. Battle Rage. So this is 14, 16, so he's going to be at 3. Make me mill some cards. I probably should have kept that land on top thinking about that. Oh, the tech. Magmatic Insight. Alright, well none of these are, I mean I guess you get the Wild Slash. Well, this is 4 damage. I could have played a Hordeling Outburst or something first just to pump up my Abbot, but I don't think that's the line we're going to go with. Alright, send to sleep. Just going to tap our guys. So here's pretty much on Wrath or Bust. Cast Tormenting Voice, okay. Always yield. Okay. And we win. Alright, well that was quick. See you guys for round 3. Alright guys, and here we are for our 3rd match in the 2-mans today. We won the die roll this time, and yes, we would like to go first. This hand is okay, I guess. We got a dude, we got some pump spells, got the smaller version of the combo, got a removal spell. It's not great, but I guess we'll keep it. So here we're going to lead on Bloodstained Mire, and I'm not going to crack. If they play something that I can Wild Slash, I'll probably just get a Mountain and Wild Slash. If not, I'm just going to grab a Cinderglade. So let's get the Cinderglade. The Dragon Fighter is a good draw. We'll just play that instead. Typically, the longer you can hold on to your Abbots, the better. Opponent gets Sunken Hollow, so it looks like we might be playing against an Esper deck here. That looks to be the case. This might be a Silk Wrap. Chief of the Edge. Alright. It's going to be an interesting one. So maybe like some Esper Warriors or something like that. So here, I think we're going to play the Abbot, try and hit a land or another removal spell. If not, then we're just going to play the land and the Wild Slash. Alright, so we had another Abbot. Not the end of the world. I'm just going to grab a mountain with this, and then we're going to Wild Slash that Chief. See what our opponent does here. Mardu Wool Reaper, game 1. Alright, that's good. And another Chief of the Edge. Alright, Atarka's Command is a good draw here. I think what we're going to do is we're just going to play this Hordling Outburst, and then we're just going to pass the turn. I'm not particularly worried about our opponent attacking us here, and there's no more creatures for him to gain life off of. With the Wool Reaper, next turn we're going to be able to Atarka's Command for a lot of damage. Bludgeon Rager. Cut that. Alright, so here we're just going to swing in with everybody. Everyone, get in here. Alright, so those are his blocks. We're going to Atarka's Command. Get some prowess triggers. So yeah, we're going to get through for 6, 9, 12 damage. He's going to go to 5, and all his guys are dead. And I feel like this is pretty good since we got this combo in hand. Mardu Strike Leader is it's fine. So here I think I'm actually just going to Titan Strength like a random goblin that he doesn't block, and then Battle Rage my Swift Spear just so that we have 2 different targets in case he has like a Murderous Cut or something weird. Or we could just do that. Alright, so he doesn't even wait for me to tap it. Just concedes. So going into game 2 against the warrior deck here, I think that we're gonna want our impulse. These Rending Volleys aren't bad. This outburst is okay. We may want to cut down on some of our combo stuff here and just try and maximize our value off the Atarka's Command and then just remove his guys. I don't think we need to get fancy here. We have really cheap removal and his guys are a little more expensive than our removal is. So this is a fine hand. I think we're going to go Cinderglade, turn 1 tapped, and then Mountain on second turn into a Dragon Fodder. So we'll keep, as well as our opponent will keep. So we'll see what happens. Alright, takes one, probably a Wool Reaper here. Kytheon, huh? That's fine. So I think taking 2 is okay. I could play the mountain and then hope to hit an untapped land for next turn, but I don't think that we need to. Taking 2 off Skytheon isn't going to be the end of the world for us. If he plays another guy here, we'll just use a turn to just catch up by removing 2 creatures. So since he didn't play anything here, I think I'm just going to play the Dragon Fodder. Next turn, if he attacks, we'll just block, and he's going to use his mana to make it invincible. He's going to get half of our card here, and he's just basically not doing anything. Alright, Chief of the Edge. Wombo combo. And Shambling Vent. So he passes the turn. This is not going to work out well for our opponent here. So here I think we're just going to play this Windswept Heath. And go Wild Slash there. Volley there. Attack for 2. So now we have Impulse for this Shambling Vent or another creature if he ends up playing something else. If this is a Strike Leader, yeah, we're going to be able to Impulse that. That's one of the reasons we used the Rending Volley, just to make sure if it was a black creature, we still had an answer to it. I'm going to fetch here at the end of the turn, get the other Cinderglade out of the deck, just so that a little less likely to draw some lands. Just like I said, less likely to draw lands. Alright, so we're going to Impulse. I think that's all we do here. I'd rather just hold on to these spells. I mean, we could get through for a bit of damage here, but then he's just going to have the Shambling Vents in play. And granted, he can't activate it yet, but I have a pretty strong feeling that he's going to hit a land eventually here. Bludgeon Rager, okay. Alright, so here I think we're actually just going to trade a Goblin with this Atarka's command rather than Impulse this. So he doesn't even block. That's super surprising. Yeah, again, there's just no reason to use this here. I guess we'll just Titan Strength. See what's on top. Titan Strength is fine. Just gonna get through some more damage. Just play a land and pass. Alright, so he does hit the next land, so this Impulse probably is going to kill the Shambling Vent. If he ends up attacking here, that's probably what's going to do. I also could Skullcrack if he ends up attacking with both in my Atarka's command. Or on the next turn, Impulse. Alright, so he plays Chief of the Edge here. Wow. Okay, so he attacks. Definitely just taking it. Doesn't seem like that's in his best interest. So we're just going to impulse to blocker. We're going to Atarka's command. Attack. And if he has a removal spell, we'll just use the Titan Strength on the one that he doesn't target. And that'll do it. Thanks for watching.